The Icefield Parkway is said to be one of the most scenic rides you can take anywhere. It's a 230 kilometer stretch of road between Lake Louise and Jasper. And it takes you kind of through the heart of the Rocky Mountains, at least the Canadian Rocky Mountains. The most beautiful part, that's the most important part. And going through that was really jaw-dropping. I didn't really expect to see or feel the way that I did going through there. So it was pretty epic. It's kind of funny how I started in the Icefields Parkway. When I was going through it, I didn't think I chose the right time. In fact, I didn't even think that I was going the right way. I thought I should have probably started off in Jasper and then headed towards Lake Louise. I'm starting to think that all the good views would be going from Jasper to Lake Louise, because every time I look behind me, I see something amazing. And then every time I look in front of me, I see signs telling me what to do. Winter conditions are not all that great for sightseeing. I'm hoping in the morning time I'll see something spectacular. But I think I just chose a stormy time. March in like a lion, or no, in like a lamb, out like a lion, or like a dog. Because there wasn't really much to see. There was a lot of forests, there was a lot of snow, there was a lot of fog, and it always seemed to block out the peaks. So I was really worried in the beginning that maybe I took the most scenic ride and I was going to come up short. Which is funny, because really what was happening is I still had hundreds of meters to go up. I hadn't even scratched really the surface in the first 2 days. Really, it wasn't until the third day when I came to the Saskatchewan crossing. That was the moment. I'd never seen anything so beautiful in my whole entire life. Like, it was really, I made a post the other day on Instagram, and it said that I screamed at the top of my lungs that I am in the mountains. That was the moment. I was just like, I'm in the mountains, baby. And honestly, that's when it dawned on me, and I had full body goosebumps from head to toe. I never felt that way in my whole entire life. Just that view of that mountain, you're coming up, and there's a mountain right in front of you, and then you turn a corner, and there's just like this, I don't know, King Mountain, I guess. And it was beautiful. It was amazing. So once I descended down into that part, into the actual crossing, that's kind of why I call it the heart of the Rocky Mountains. You're just in the Saskatchewan River's cutting through, and you're in this bowl, this perfect bowl valley, and you're surrounded. You come down the mountain, you look behind you, and there's an even bigger mountain. You see the mountain, how high up you were. And you come down the river, there's this bridge, and the wind, oh my gosh, the wind. I never heard, like, when people say howling winds, I'd never heard the wind make that sound before. Like, it was a guttural howl, like it was scary. I thought maybe there was like a tornado or a typhoon or some kind of, it was a scary sound, but it was, I guess, beautiful in its own way too. I couldn't ride my bike across the bridge. It was so windy. And that was the moment. And the moments beyond that part were just amazing too. There were so many times you're coming at the side of a mountain, and it's like the wall. Any of you watched Game of Thrones? You know, the wall, the the mountains were like that, like, and just like a sheer side, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't just like an angle up, it was just straight, the wall. Yeah, there was a couple of those moments, and they were absolutely beautiful. The snow too, I don't do a lot of planning. In fact, none of this was planned. I just kind of, I really just woke up. Well, I guess I had kind of planned it in India. I was like, I want to cross Canada, but I didn't really put any energy into it. So I got to Canada, bought a bike, I got a dog, bought some stuff, and I left. So it kind of came to me as a surprise when I came to the mountains, and there's waist deep snow. I'm only really prepared for the winter for freaking biking. I don't have snowshoes or anything. But the things we do for pictures, right? Mikoto, wait, I'm stuck. Help me. Look at that. That's a deep one. Mikoto. Mikoto. You can't really get anywhere. Now you're supposed to do backcountry camping. It's, if you're 5 kilometers away from the road, you can essentially pretty much camp anywhere in the backcountry, as long as you have a reservation. And I was like, that's fine. Of course I'll be able to go in there, but no, it's impossible. You can't. To hike a bike 5 kilometers through waist deep snow would have been impossible, and I had no idea. That's why, thankfully, I met Ken, and he was a hostel manager. There's a bunch of wilderness hostels along the Icefield Parkway, and I met Ken, who introduced me to Richard, and Richard was the first hostel that I first went to, is Mosquito Creek. So day 1 of Icefield Parkway is done. I didn't go too far. I did like 30 kilometers today. It was, the up and the down has been pretty hard. One thing I didn't account for is how hard it would be to get a camping spot. The amount of snow here is pretty ridiculous. If we just look, like, most snow is probably about this deep. So that comes up to the waist on me. I'm in this little parking lot right now. The guy here, he owns the hostel, or he's the hostel caretaker. He's full, but he said I could pitch my tent pretty much anywhere. So I'm gonna try and find a spot, pitch my tent, and I'll go from there. Oh man, I'm tired. And he kind of just let me lay down my tent on the property. There was no way I was camping anywhere else. And then Ken said once I come by, I could stop at his hostel. So the next day I ended up making it to Ken's hostel, the Rampart hostel. And it was such a beautiful day. I maybe did like 25-30 kilometers that day, and then I took a rest. It was plus 10 Celsius, and that was the warmest weather I had felt since pretty much I started the journey. I started October 9th, and pretty much up until that point I had been dealing with negative 20s, negative 30s. Once I got to Alberta, maybe negative 5, negative 6, negative 10s. It wasn't that bad, or it didn't seem that bad after going through eastern Quebec.
Look how cold it is in the mountains. There's little frosts.
I made the mistake of not figuring out a way to keep my boots from freezing. So my boots are frozen solid, and I've been trying for the last maybe 15 minutes to get my foot in. I just can't. It's fucked. I can't even squeeze that part. Fuck. I woke up at 7:30 in the morning today. It's now 8:45 and I finally got my feet in my boots. And it's a very painful experience because they're essentially just in frozen tubes of ice. And I'm hoping by walking around lots, we can generate some heat and defrost them, and then they'll be warm boots again. Because right now they're pain sarcophaguses or something, I don't know. So according to some people I talked to, I have no internet out here, so I can't really check the temperature, but last night was a really intense cold snap, and now the sun's out, so I'm decided that I'll take the time, let my boots defrost a little bit more, because the sun is good enough that it is melting. So, and these are black, so maybe they'll absorb the warmth better. I hope this person doesn't mind, but I gotta take advantage of the sun whenever I can. Just trying out my life right now. The coastal, because that was brutal. But anyway, so I went to Rampart. I've decided on day 3 that I was going to take a break. So I've been kind of having an easy day. I met a guy named Ken, and he's the resident manager for Wilderness Hostel here, Rampart Hostel, and we got to talking. So I think I have a new job. Once I've done tree planting, I can be a support hostel person. So when the main managers want to take some time off, I'll be a stand-in. So, which is going to be pretty cool because I'm right in the middle. I'm exactly in the middle of Banff and Jasper. That's where Rampart is. But it can be any one of the hostels. I don't know how many there are. I know of the 2. And I get to live in the mountains and host people. So that would be pretty amazing. That's a pretty amazing job opportunity. So I'm really stoked about that. So after tree planting, I'm going to be a hostel manager. And right now I'm coming from you on the side of a cliff. Oh yeah, beautiful, isn't it? I don't know if Karma has a crush on me. I think she does. Because whenever I find myself in a situation that could be pretty dire or just not ideal, it always seems to work out in the best way possible. And there was a couple times, actually twice, on the Icefield Parkway at least, where I was pretty low on food. Right in the beginning of the journey, I actually met a man, I can't remember his name, and he was ex-military. That man is a air technician, ex-military man. He just pulled over, wanted to say hi to me, gave me this thing of orange juice, gave me a bunch of rope. I actually asked for rope. He had like his old military bag, and he gave me a thing of fried chicken. So awesome. So he was the first person there to help me out. And then later, maybe the next day, he came back, and he came with like a whole bag of a whole bunch of stuff, like a towel, a high vis vest, those plastic zip ties, flashlight, batteries, a multi-tool, a puncture kit, Park Tools puncture kit for my wheels. He had thought of everything. Gloves, this toque, that's actually a baklava too. So this thing, I didn't think I would need it, but it gets pretty windy in the mountains. It gets pretty windy and cold. So I'm glad that he gave it to me because it was a whole bunch of stuff I never even thought of. So that was pretty cool. He helped me out twice. I then met, well, I didn't meet really. They just pulled me over on the side of the road, asked what I was doing, took my pictures. And I was out of food, pretty much out of food at this time. This old couple in a truck, they stopped me and I was just like, I don't know, if you have snacks, I could really use some snacks. I'm just eating salted rice at this point. As fate would have it, I was running out of food. Not like food, I have food for dinner. I'm pretty much down to rice and oatmeal. And oh yeah, look at how beautiful it is. This couple stopped and they gave me a bunch of stuff. Snacks! I got a whole thing of trail mix, a whole thing of oranges, and 2 muffins. That's the universe always taking care of me. I think she has a crush on me. And then from Facebook, I get a lot of help from Facebook too. Sharon, she just said that she would be passing through Jasper or coming from Jasper, going to Calgary, I can't remember. And just the day before I left, actually a couple hours, she messaged on Facebook. She's like, oh, I'm going that way. Is there anything you need? And I'm just like, I'm not picky. At this point, like I'll probably want food and something to drink. And then the next day I left and there was nothing else about it. So just before I got to the pass, I can't say the name of the pass, but the big pass in the Icefield Parkway, she found me and she stopped me. And I had totally forgotten about the whole encounter. And she brought me 2 sandwiches, a Crantastic turkey sandwich, which was delicious, from Lester's Market in Jasper, a breakfast thing, 2 bananas, some oranges, an apple, a can of soup, and then she refilled all my water. She had just sold everything. She sold her house and all her stuff, and she bought like a camper, not like a camper van, but a renovated van, and she's just living on the road and going on cycle tours. So I was like, that's pretty cool. So I always get to meet a lot of different people, which is pretty awesome. Icefield Parkway is no exception. It was actually quite funny, the amount of people that passed me going towards Jasper and coming from Jasper. When I got to Jasper, I was like I felt like a little bit of a local celebrity. There were so many people and they're like, yo, we saw you on the thing. How crazy is that? Like, because when I got through the pass, it was storming. There was like whiteout conditions and I was like, well, I'm gonna get up here no matter what. So I'm pedaling away and there's so many people that came up to me and they're like, were you just on the Icefield Parkways? We saw you. I can't believe you were cycling in that and all this kind of stuff. A lot of people didn't know what I had in my trailer. So out in Jasper, she likes to sit in the trailer like all upright and prissy. So a lot of people got to realize that I was bringing my dog along the whole time. So that was a pretty cool experience. I've come to steal your snow. 2-day-old frozen sausage rolls with mayo. Oh, the best way to eat vegan chili is with fried chicken. I woke up at 7:30 today and it is now 8:45 and I finally got my feet in my boots. So, and they're painful right now because nothing you really want to do except wake up in the morning and throw your fucking, oh, I swear.